Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today on Everything AeroPilates. Today I wanted to do something a little different for you guys. This is one of AeroPilates' I would say main competitor. It's the Pilates Power Gym, and this is actually the Plus model, which is an older model. It's not actually available right now, but this was on eBay. Somebody had never opened it and just wanted to get rid of it. So I got a much better deal than what you would pay for the Plus right now. But so the Plus is about $5.99 on their website, and plus tax and shipping, or shipping's free, but plus tax. And they also have just the Pilates Power Gym Pro, which has less features, and that is $4.29. So the lower model, the Pro, not this one, is comparable to, for instance, the HSN just had their new 5 cords, which sold out incredibly fast. Had those on for $4.40. So $4.29, $4.30, $4.40, that's comparable prices. So the lower one of this model will compare to a 5 cord, one of the higher ends of the AeroPilates model. But what people like about this Pilates Power Gym is that it can elevate. Now, if you've ever heard Marjolaine Brugman talk about the elevation, you will know that Joe Pilates felt strongly that you should be lying on your back to reform your muscles and to rebalance. And so any kind of hip or knee pain, if you are elevated doing this this particular machine, it's still going to put the pressure, and you're still going to be on your imbalances. So when you're off your imbalances, they're able to reform, which hence the name reformer, and that's the whole idea behind it. And this is actually, they call this a home reformer, but when you're elevated, that's no longer going to be the case. Your hip is a little twinged. You have the possibility of the pressure on that hip while you're working out at an angle. But the reason I chose this, and I have a total gym downstairs, we'll talk about that later compared to the AeroPilates, but the reason I chose this one, my main complaint with the total gym for anything is that you don't have shoulder pads. So even if your shoulder's higher and you're using the total gym, there are other complaints I had compared to the AeroPilates for the total gym, but we'll talk about that later. But let's just say now your one shoulder's higher, you don't have shoulder pads, so you're gonna stay with that shoulder higher. And so all your exercises, your arm motions, everything are gonna be done with that slightly higher off-balance shoulder. And but this Pilates Power Gym Plus has the shoulder pads. It's kind of a good in-between, and if you stayed lying flat for your workouts, some people would say it was comparable. There's one thing I'm going to check, because I have a suspicion that there's something that's not going to work as well as the AeroPilates on this machine. But right now my point is just to get it out of the box and kind of show you what that is like. I'm probably not going to go as detailed as assembly. I've heard on the HSN demonstration years ago that the Plus model had no assembly. But then I've read reviews that there are some assembly, and I don't know if they're talking about the clips, you know, just once you get out of the box. So we're going to find out that. We're going to find that out right now. So here is the unboxing of the Pilates Power Gym Plus, and then I will get it out. We'll try some things out on it, and I'll tell you what I think compared to the AeroPilates that I've been using for so long. And I'll try to be as fair as I can to this machine, because right now it's one of the only options. A lot of the AeroPilates are sold out, but hopefully they'll come back in soon. So this is a clam shell box, which is different from the AeroPilates. AeroPilates is, you know, you cut down the middle and you open it. So in that way, I think that's kind of nice, except for this part where you have to cut it open. So I am going to get it on its side. I think I'm going to get it on its side. Okay. Okay. On its side, I'm just going to be cutting it open. Now this box is actually bigger and heavier than the AeroPilates box. So I was a little surprised about that. I thought it would be a little, it does have a smaller footprint. The AeroPilates is 7 feet, I'm looking at mine right there, 7 feet long. This might be a little over 5 or 5. We'll measure it later. Opening the clamshell. Now the Pilates Power Gym, one good way to get them, I mean, we'll see if I can fully recommend it. I'm sure it's definitely better than nothing, I can already tell. And because you have the possibility to lie down flat while you're working out. It could be beneficial. But these are pretty easy to find locally. Sometimes AeroPilates are as well, so that would be like a Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, whatever other local things you guys know about. I think there's an OfferUp or Let Go. For right now, those are the only ones I even know about. But if you have your spots that you go check and look for things locally, check them out for just Pilates. A lot of the times people don't know the name AeroPilates, so if you type in the whole word AeroPilates, it won't come up, depending on how good their search is. Okay, so the clamshell is open. I gotta flip it back over. Okay. So this says it's 74 pounds on the box, and I'm guessing it is every ounce of that. So obviously, if you have one of these and you're just following this along because you bought one of these, just be careful when you're taking this lid off, because you don't want to pull your back just opening the package. And you could obviously cut, but I mean, you just have to be careful because you don't want to cut any of the components of the machine. I think we're almost there. Okay. Beautiful. Ta-da! Okay, so it's packaged really well. Comes with its instruction booklet. I'm going to go ahead and cut this open and we can just talk about what it's in here right now. So we have a little booklet for the push-up bar, which is an accessory with the Plus. It does not come with the Pro. All of the Pros. I think it comes with some of the Pros. And it can be bought separately for $50. Has a little nutrition guide, pretty standard. A little upper-lower body and ab workout. What I like about this one has the Kristen McGee, it's right back there, workout. Okay, so now we're down to the machine, and it looks really interesting. Trying to figure out how I'm going to get this out of the box. I really don't want to lift it this way because I think that that can cause an injury. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to tilt it up again and try to kind of spill it out. So that's what we're going to try. I'm going to get this big clamshell lid out of the way. Yeah, that thing is big. It's a little more. It's just my phone. Is that my phone? Yeah, that's my phone. Great. Okay, so, oh, come on, you can get tilt. Probably for this takeout and assembly, it would be really good to have extra help, and that's true of the AeroPilates too. It goes a lot faster. Again, like I said, this is supposed to be 100% assembled. So once, this is the hard part, once you get out of the box, you should be able to get right on it. In which case, I'm going to turn it around. I'll get it out first. Okay, because we're going to get right on it, I decided to turn it around and get the head over here so it can kind of be easier to display. Okay. And now I'm going to tilt it again. I'm just going to kind of grab it and slide it out, I hope. And I think we could just cut the sides here. Okay, so I'm going to reach under the rails. Actually, I'll turn around so you guys can see what I'm doing. Oh. grabbing all the way to the bottom rail here. I'm gonna try to pull it out. You know what, I'm just gonna flip it upside down, guys. Okay. So then I can just flip it back. I think that's gonna be the easiest. Wrestling it looks fun, right? But maybe this will be a little better. Okay, there's the box. This is really nice foam taped on the side there. I'm sure that helps it from jingling. Okay, we have the pull bar. Good thing I flipped it over. That's probably what you're supposed to do. We have some zip ties to cut to get the pull bar out. This is actually, it says, does it say pull up? Oh, push up. Yeah, I was gonna say this is more of a push up bar. I'm sorry I kept saying pull up bar. That's incorrect. This is a push up bar, and this would act as your toe bar, what your toe bar does in AeroPilates. However, it gives you a little further or wider grip. I showed you one of the videos using a pull up bar as a toe bar, and so if you did that, if you doubled, either had two pull up bars or moved the pull up bar from the back to the toe bar, you could have this wider grip for your exercises. So you do have an option for that in AeroPilates, but I do think that that's just a really nice feature on this machine. Okay, we have something in here. This looks like one of the hand or foot strap pads. Cut that out. Do you love finding little secret compartments? And so we have the other side, and then we'll flip it over. Alright, that one has nothing. So it really looks like a sturdy machine. And let's see. Let's flip it over. I'm gonna unbag it now. So I'm just going to lift it up a little to unbag it. Has little rubber feet, very tiny, that I'm hoping will protect the floor. Lift and pull. We're gonna lay it down. You guys, I'm just gonna lift it and move it back. When you are doing this yourself, I don't recommend that. And unless you're really big and strong, maybe you can do that. I'm 5 foot and getting stronger every day. But so I'm gonna lift it and move it back a little because I don't wanna hit the camera when I lay it down. Okay. Whoops. And we're going down. Just make sure you are bending your knees, not just your back over, whenever you're tinkering with this guy. Okay. So, let me just go over this color palette. It's really cute. It's like this teal, dark gray, light gray. This is not available anymore. They have the dark gray and black now. So it's a version of this with gray and black, and then they have an all black one. Those are what are available right now. You can maybe find these sometimes, like I did, unused, essentially new, but this was, I believe from 2015 when they had this model available, so about 5 years ago. So this is fun. This toe bar is, it moves. That's one thing that AeroPilates does not have, is a moving toe bar. So like you can adjust it, and let me show you the positions. This way, which is a little further away, you can adjust it straight up and down, which is what your AeroPilates will have, and then that's it. I was hoping it could come a little more this way, because I'm short. But okay, so straight up or slightly tilted. Those are the two positions you can put your toe bar in on this machine. But let's finish with assembly here. Okay, it does look, aside from whatever these straps are, completely assembled. So, if you don't know, if you haven't seen the other videos, you're just watching this for the Pilates Power Gym. An AeroPilates machine, reformer, you would have to, it folds like a V, and you'd have to screw 4 feet in on each side of the V, and then you would have to put the rolling wheels, you screw those on as well. So it's a little bit of assembly. You pop in the shoulder pads. These are just folded, whoops, folded down with pins. So it is wrapped very well. There's something about this machine, it is pretty, but it just feels a little less relaxing than the AeroPilates. But you know, you can call me an AeroPilates snobby over the time because I do love them. But it just seems more like a serious workout machine. But you know what, that's okay. So I'm just popping up the shoulder pads, and again, they have these pins that are actually strapped in, so that's really nice. You're not ever going to lose them. And I'm assuming these shoulder pads fold down for storage. Okay, and then we have, let me see. It seems like this lifts up and down, but it doesn't stay up. It doesn't have a way to actually stay up. So maybe you put something under that. Okay, so this is the machine, and that, okay, super simple once you get out of the box, and sometimes that's like the hardest part. Now this tow bar, I don't see the pins for, so it's probably in this little bag. So let's check out this little bag of goodies. Now, this is the litmus test. I wanted a Pilates reformer down in the basement, so my husband can jump on it. He works 12-hour days right now down in his office, home office, and is super, super busy. But for him to just jump on and stretch out here and there, I would love for him to be able to have a reformer down there. And he, you know, he doesn't use it on his own a lot. I usually have to force him to do some of the stretches because he'll get really stiff, especially sitting 12 hours a day typing. You know, in this position you start to slouch. So I would love to have one down there to make it easy for him, because he certainly will not come up here. It looks like these are the screws for the tow bar, or for the toes, yeah, for the tow bar. And yeah, they're going in there. So you line up the tow bar however you want it, in the 2 positions, straight up and down, or a little further back if you're taller, and screw the pegs in. So yeah, it popped right in, good. All right, that's pretty easy to do. It's very similar to if you screw the tow bar in the AeroPilates, which I never do. So this extra would be an extra step for me, and I might just leave it straight most of the time anyway because I'm pretty short. All right, and these look like the leg straps. It opens up like that. Okay, so we'll do the leg straps in a moment, but this is ready to go. It has no resistance right now. Let me see how far back we're gonna go. Okay, that's gonna hit the wall, so I'm gonna have to scoot a little this way. So that's interesting because it does have a smaller footprint than the AeroPilates. I'm gonna make another video where they're side by side, and we kind of talk about them that way as well. I think that'll be helpful for you to see them next to each other. So I'll have that video soon. But other than putting these cords on, let me tell you the resistance. Oh, you gotta go all the way through. Okay, so you have to go a little further than you would in the AeroPilates. The AeroPilates, you put them right here. And then this reformer, you pull them a little further. These 2 middle ones feel slightly stronger than a black cord, but not quite as tight as a red cord. Okay, so it looks like we have level 3 feels similar to a black cord in the AeroPilates. This little light gray one feels like yellow. This medium gray seems in between. And then this bigger black one kind of feels like a red. So it goes gray, black, charcoal, and then light gray. So that's how they do have different colored cords for different sets of resistance. So I'm going to go ahead and get on this, and I'm going to talk about what I was thinking could be a problem with this machine. So we'll check out and see if it actually is. Okay. Let me see. Okay, so, all right. So for a short person, I'm 5 foot, This would be my AeroPilates if I hadn't done the hack. That's what it feels like. And so I'm not getting quite, see how I'm slamming? I'm not getting quite the range of motion that I'm used to. I feel like I'm missing a couple inches on that squat. So that's okay. It's a little less smooth than the AeroPilates machine on the rails. It's nice to be able to put your feet down. Do you guys see that? Well, I'm 5 foot, so maybe you can't put your feet down. But okay, here's where I was warning about the problem. And this is where it's going to be, guys. That's about where you would... Huh. Okay guys, I'm going to try the feet straps, and then I'm going to give you like just my first overview thoughts, just in general, and then versus AeroPilates. And then like I said in another video, we'll do a side-by-side comparison of the models. So right away you're going to notice for your AeroPilates, you do not have to change the straps for hands to feet. So, I mean, you know, this isn't going to take that long, you guys. They have a pretty good clip. Oh wait, I'm supposed to keep that on? Keep the clip on and just take off this little handle. So, okay, so take off the handle, leave the clip on. And then just put the new foot strap on. And then once you get these your size feet, you won't have to adjust them again. But right now I'm going to have to adjust them. And you have to do that with the AeroPilates. You have to, when you first get it, you're going to have to adjust the hand and foot strap to your size. Okay. Alright, so those are on, and these are like a shiny cable, and AeroPilates has like a rope cord. You have clips on each side, D-ring, and I'm going to put this now on my foot. So, we'll see how it goes. Oh. Wow. Okay guys, I don't know if you're seeing this, but because I'm so short, I can't even finish a move. Like, this is as high as it gives me. And you know what, the AeroPilates, it's going to take you to here to get that stretch down there. So this is as far as it's taking me, is right here. And then to do coordination, you usually bring your knee in and your other leg up, and that's that is not working either. So I could probably shorten these cables somehow. The other thing I want you to notice, my right leg is obviously stronger, and so when I'm doing things, lowering my legs, you can see it's getting a little in front. And I'm not trying to do that, so now I'm trying to keep them together. Okay, but if I split them, it's harder to keep them together. With your AeroPilates, your straps are independent of whatever this is, and they pull the machine evenly, so your feet are always together on these exercises, even if one leg's stronger. Okay guys, so I just wanted to go do some overview things. As a Pilates performer, I'm sorry to say this machine is not going to cut the bill, and the reason is your straps are independent of each other. They are not attached to the carriage where you're moving it together. On the AeroPilates, you have the same leg straps, and your right hand won't go in front of it. They move together because of how it's strapped onto the carriage. So your hands move together, and that makes balanced muscles. So if my left arm is a little weaker, it's going to get stronger when I'm pushing it together. This machine, because they're independent, it's a pulley system inside, and then it's also, this thing turns around, which is probably useful for like some side arm things. But because of how it's designed, my right hand, you probably noticed, was going a little, because it's stronger, was going in front of my left hand on like the arm lowers, and my legs were doing the same thing because my right side is a little stronger. So doing that is not going to reform your imbalances. So for actual squats or whatever, this would be fine, except if you're short like me. So if I'm 5 foot, there's no way to adjust this machine to make it so you have a little more range, and you're so far up here because you want the shoulder pads to balance your shoulders out so that your legs can be even when you're doing the squats, that you're just not going to get the range of motion. It's even probably the less pre-hack of the 5 chords, so a little less range of motion. If you're taller than me, you won't have a problem with that. I'm still just disappointed in the arm and leg balance system, and I didn't notice that on the demonstration. So for those reasons, I am not even going to be keeping this machine, and that's like disappointing because I like the design. I like that it's a little higher up. You don't even have to get a stand. It's still lower than the AeroPilates on a stand. What I'm going to do right now is just pan through this machine so you can kind of see the details. I'll go ahead and put on the push-up bar because, like I said, for anything up here, anything using the toe bar, push bar, you're going to be, oh, and that, what happened? Okay, so that's as far back as it goes, guys. I'm used to having a little more room with my AeroPilates. So that is as far back as you go. I can usually get a little further using my AeroPilates. I'll show you that tomorrow. So I just thought I hit the wall, which, oh, I'd be in a lot of trouble. I would be in a lot of trouble if that happened. But so I just don't have as much range of motion for that. So that's interesting. That's just my basic overview. If you guys are considering between this and an AeroPilates, I am going to say please get the AeroPilates. This machine is fine. If you elevated this, you would have fun. It'd probably be very similar to a total gym, except that it has just shoulder pads that will keep at least your shoulders aligned. If you're shorter, it's absolutely a no, because you just won't get the range of motion that you want. And if you're looking to perform and stay balanced, this is not going to work. Just lets whatever arm or leg is stronger get ahead of the other one. And you would really have to think about it, and that's fine. Maybe you really want that challenge of thinking about it. But the AeroPilates you get on, you don't have to think about it. You can just relax, move through the motions. You know your arms and legs are balanced because of the way it's designed. It makes the workout, it's not unmindful because you can focus on your core, you can focus on other things, but it's not like an effort like, oh no, okay, I gotta do this, like this arm a little more, you know. And even if you're trying to say compensate with your left one, there's no guarantee that when you're doing like arm circles or something that you're not gonna overcompensate with your left hand and then, you know, mess it up the other way. So as a reformer, it's not my favorite. As just an exercise machine, me personally, I prefer a reformer. What I would encourage you after this review is to go ahead and get this machine if it's something you're looking for at the elevation. If that's something you're looking for, say you're completely balanced, you don't have any hip pain or knee pain, or your shoulders are, you know, your shoulders aren't crooked when you go to the chiropractor, one leg's not a little longer than the other, and you're always like that, then this machine's fine for you. And it's actually probably relatively fun for a lot of things. But if you're looking for a reformer that keeps you balanced, that keeps you even, corrects things like scoliosis, that's going to help with hip pain, knee pain, I don't think this one will be as effective because it's not going to be able to balance you out the same as the AeroPilates. So this is interesting because I probably knew that I was going to like my AeroPilates better, but this is just such kind of like pretty colors and kind of a cool design that I was really hoping this could be like a secondary reformer down for my basement for my husband, you know, because he doesn't really care which machine he has. But what I care about for him is that he is going to be able to be working out in balance. So to elevate, it has a handle back here. It looks like you pull it out. Okay, maybe that's too, okay, you're just pulling up. Probably not there, that's plastic. Okay, there's your first elevation, great. So this is your lowest elevation for this machine, and that's a pretty good elevation. What you have next is a pin here that you're gonna pull out. Okay, you unscrew. this is your highest elevation that you can do. It's really not that much effort, a little bit of pain, but you have to unscrew and kind of, you know, pull it out, and then you have your different levels here. And I think that's it. Let me check. Oh no, we can go higher. Okay, that looks like the highest. Then you're going to screw that back in to keep your elevation. And actually it says max on there, so now I know my highest. Okay. That pin stops screwing in, and it doesn't look all the way done. It's definitely not screwed all the way in. So maybe I'm... Well, let's try it out. Oh, okay. Why is that so hard? Do you see the squat here? I really feel like I'm literally, if I'm not on my tippy toes, I'm getting like a baby squat here before I slam, because I'm short. But I'm up here with the shoulder pads so that I can stay, you know, aligned. If you have a total gym, or if you've ever used a total gym or anything like a total gym, this glide board is really heavy, and it is not as smooth as a total gym. So because the glide board is actually quite heavy, it adds weight to your workout, so you're not just doing yourself. It's good if you're really wanting to work your legs. If you have any kind of knee pain or any kind of hip pain, that was impact on my knees. I could definitely feel that they're a little sore. It could be that they're worked out, but you know, I have this right knee injury that hasn't hurt in months because of the AeroPilates, and right now I feel it in that exact spot. And I walk around. I don't do anything else other than the AeroPilates, which I'm sure you can tell because I'm still losing weight. But that was a lot of pressure for that squat on this knee. And it's crazy because I thought maybe it was completely healed, but this machine showed me otherwise. So that's just another thing to consider. It is not as smooth as like a total gym glide board. It's actually really heavy. And so it's good if you're trying to really bulk up and you want to do those kind of elevated squats. It's not going to work for me with my hip and knee injuries that I now realize I still have. So let's pan over the machine. Alright, so these are the pins for the shoulder pads, and then you can take these out with the pull, and that's probably going to slam down. Whoops, because I'm elevated. Okay, so don't do that. When you're elevated, don't do it. And that's going to fold flatter so that you can slide it wherever you need to slide it. Okay, here are the levels. This is the screw that I was working with. And you can see at this time I couldn't get it all the way screwed in. So this knob is not actually super large. So it's, yeah, it's just not screwing in for me. And then you can see the levels here. So it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. And this one would be in the 5. And you do have 3 levels down here. So I'll try to get that. I'll try to show you how that is. Here is the clip that you adjusted and added the leg straps to. Here's the underneath. This is the handle that you actually are gonna lift the machine and roll it. And I'll show you the wheels down here. Are these teeny tiny wheels? And that's what you're gonna roll it when you're trying to roll it away. Okay, so let me try to adjust this other part here and actually try to film it. That should be a treat for you guys. Some great camera woman. All right, so again, I don't really see where you're supposed to lift up. So I'm just gonna lift here on this bar and lift up. Whoops, I'm gonna scoot that in. Okay, so that's 5, and then you have 5 levels at this kind of angle. Okay, so did you see that go? And then this one's gonna go all the way down. Okay, so that's the lowest. And so really you have 15 angles with this machine because you have 3 positions and then 5 levels each angle. Now I'm gonna try to go ahead and lower it back down. So I'm gonna have to do this carefully. So and put my knee under there because I don't want it to smash my hand. Okay, so I'm just unscrewing this. Okay, and then you pull, whoop, pull, and then it's gonna, whoops, go down. There is one, pull, go down, and I know that was so graceful, guys. There you go. I'm gonna actually set you down because I do not want to crush my hand. Okay, everyone, so that was the machine. I have not coordinated, and I did kind of just like bang my arm a little getting that down. So that is not for anybody who has any coordination problems like myself. So I know probably some of you are like, what a wimp, and that's okay. So maybe this is the machine for you, but yeah, I'm just not coordinated. You have to kind of step on it, you know, make sure that you're going down slowly, and so it's not as smooth as I'm used to. But that doesn't mean I couldn't get used to it. It doesn't mean you can't get used to it. But I am still really, really recommending an AeroPilates over this machine. If you have this machine, maybe you love it, maybe you're taller than me, maybe you're more coordinated than me, and maybe you don't mind if your arms and legs are a little imbalanced, or you can really focus on keeping your arms and legs together, and that's part of the way you like to work out. I like workout to be like more relaxing, more meditative, where you can think, you can pray, you can do whatever while you're working out. And that's what I've gotten used to with the AeroPilates. I've been so spoiled. And just if you think you need this kind of machine to really bulk muscle up, because this machine does not balance you the same way, and because I'm shorter and I can't even get the full range of motion on this machine would not do the same thing that the AeroPilates has done for me. It's possible that you could get the same results on this machine, but they certainly wouldn't be as seamless, and it would not be as relaxing of a workout because it would be too intense to have to worry about it all the time. Where, you know, Marjolaine Bergman says that the AeroPilates reformer sees your imbalances, and I always thought like, well, that's kind of strange, like the machine can see, but it really does, because of the Joe Pilates design behind the reformer. He created it so that it could do that for our bodies, and because he did it in a certain way, and he studied human anatomy. He understood the body. I would not try to change that. So, you guys decide for yourself. At least you got to see what it looks like. You got to see how it works, some of the features. And thank you for joining me today. Please let me know if you have any questions about this. Even if you have this equipment and you love it and you just want to ask me something about it, or, you know, yell at me for not liking it, whatever you want to do, leave your comments below. And I will see you next time on Everything AeroPilates. Bye, guys.